Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bare Naked Women Show. I'm your co-host, Pamela Sorensen, along with
Jen Sherman.
So if you're new to our show, welcome. And let me tell you a little bit about it. So BNW is a show and online community where we openly and candidly discuss how to flourish, thrive, and feel beautiful from our inside out. During this, it used to be a glamdemic, but it is now the new normal. So every other Tuesday, we go live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time and share tips and tricks and advice, and we solve problems on beauty and our overall health and wellness and self-care. Please join our conversation on Facebook Live, follow on social, and let us know what topics you want to hear about. Well, with that, first of all, got my new bell. Let us dive right in. I've thrown it to Jen.
So I would like to introduce a very dear friend, Liz Stein. She's one sassy, strong, cheeky, badass kind of chick. And to be completely frank, that's exactly how I describe her. So she actually took my replacement one week when I had a other engagement and stood as a co-host. But now this badass kind of chick is going to be the guest on Bare Naked Women. I was about to say we are everyone. That was really very inappropriate. But welcome, Liz. Hello.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I'm thrilled.
Yes, we're thrilled to have you. I kind of feel like it's a little like three amigos virtually. I mean, it would be great if we were all together, but guess what? This is the next best thing. And what do we do when it's the next best thing? We cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So as you are our guest, Liz, what are you drinking?
I have, as anyone knows me, I love diet ginger ale. I know soda's bad for you, but it's like my one thing, and I mix it with everything. So I'm having mezcal, which I love, smoky mezcal with diet ginger ale. And I'm missing some lime because I'm at the Influencer Collective studio today recording, and there are no limes. I didn't realize I needed to bring my own, but this is my drink tonight. What are you guys drinking?
Jen, what are you drinking?
So I'm drinking, actually, I'm going to hold that one over there. So I'm drinking actually some High West, I think it's the double rye, High West double rye. Just finished off that. One of my favorite distilleries, just FYI, they're based in Park City. So I believe, don't quote me on that, but definitely Utah. And they're very good. One of my favorites. So cheers. And what are you drinking, Pamela?
Well, I shockingly am not drinking red wine at this very moment because I pretty much am always drinking red wine all of the time and also on the show. This time I actually did a little cocktail and I put some Belvedere vodka in with cran pomegranate and some lime. So, and I accidentally put a little bit too much vodka in. Oops. So we'll see how I am by the end of the show. If, you can sweep me up off the rug or whatever. But yeah, yay! Super excited. This is so fun. We got a lot to talk about.
This is almost like people get a glimpse into what it's like when we hang out normally, which I don't know that anyone's going to think it's as fun as we do, but I do. I'm excited.
Well, this is like the probably the PG version of what it's like to hang out with the three of us because yes, we could go down a totally different route, but we won't. But with Jen and I we were chatting and we thought, hey, this is actually a good topic to bring up when we talk with Liz especially because we talk all the time and we're always discussing everything from our professional lives to our personal lives and all these like our mental health, beauty, all of these great things that fuel some of our conversations. And I was saying to Jen, I find it very interesting if I look back to a year ago from today. So we were in February, not March, the whole lockdown of everything, but a year ago today, how different is your routine? How different is my routine from like an everyday, like a typical day perspective, a typical week, a typical night, a typical weekend perspective? And have we what have we know it's very different, but have we been able to adjust and change to make ourselves so that we have set ourselves up for success from a self-care and health and wellness perspective? And so, Liz, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Well, we wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Sure. Well, first I'll start. I don't know about you guys, but I used to pack my schedule from morning till night. It was breakfast meeting, rushing, trying to find parking, Zooming, whatever, and then coming home to the home office and trying to do my meetings, and then maybe trying to go back out and either doing an Uber or trying to find parking again. And so I will say that one of the things I've noticed is we really have stopped rushing around as much. So that has been something. Also, I was on planes a lot. I traveled a lot. And so just first it like halted to a like a screeching halt of nothing. Now I feel like I think I swung the other way in terms of Zoom meetings. And now instead of packing my schedule with, rushing around, I'm trying to figure out how to dial back Zoom meetings a little bit. Because I feel like I have slowed down a lot, but I also filled that too much with like screen time. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I've incorporated, and I feel like I'm doing a lot more, is visiting with friends outside safely. And we're just visiting. Like, it's not about, going out for long meals or anything as much anymore. It's just, how are you doing? I have also reconnected with a lot of friends from a long time ago, checking on people. And also I build in walks during my day. Now, granted, we have a furry guy named Morty who I have to walk, but I find, and he and Fraser haven't met yet, but anyway. So that is really important, getting up and getting outside, getting a little sunshine, and just breathing for a little bit, and walking the dog. I think just kind of building those moments to breathe in my day. So those are some things. I also am trying to, I think also figuring out my routine and paring down like what's essential and what was nice to have. But I've never stopped caring for my skin. That's one thing that I just, no matter what.
Oh, we'll totally get into the skin thing, Liz.
Okay. And I also tried to color my hair. I might be surprising some people that I do have some grays. I tried to do it myself quite a few times, but I also have found that no one does it like Kim at ELO. Shout out to Kim at ELO. So I tried and had some weird stripes, but anyway, so I was trying to pair.
Good for you. Pamela, well, and I like the little teaser there, Liz, because we'll get into a little deeper dive on those things. Pamela, I mean, I would have to say, I think that you might be the queen of routines. It's funny because a lot of the times that we come up with topics, Pamela has them. She's like, this is what we're talking about. Like, all right, you go. So I mean, as someone who I will say, as a dear friend of yours, I did feel that you were kind of predicting the pandemic, because you would go out, but like you wouldn't really go out, but like you've been on the going out train, for a portion of your life. So how did you, what the routine aspect? I know it's nice to have the furry friend, but like, is it you can probably mirror the walks throughout the days. I just wanted to open that up to you too.
Yeah, I have to say that I feel like, and like Liz, I have always been, let me pack my schedule as much as possible, because it's almost like it's not even busy stuff. It's if I'm continuously moving and engaged with my brain and my and engage with people and or doing something that I think is important, then I feel good. I feel good, because it also prevents you from actually just like, when you're going, and all of a sudden you sit down and you're like, oh, this is the time. But the one, we've talked about this before. This is when you get sick.
Yeah.
Or this is when you like go into bed and you can't get out of bed for like 2 days because your body's like, oh, guess what? You should have been doing this all along, burning the candle at both ends. That used to be like my whole This is what I do. I'm proud of doing it. Look, I'm a machine. And when I started to slow down, even before the pandemic, I enjoy smaller moments, more intimate moments, and having a little bit more control of saying no and having more control of my destiny every single day and every single night. That made me feel good. And then when I actually was like, oh wow, I have the ability to have control. Just having from a routine perspective and scheduling, I, like you, Liz, was like, oh, let me fill every single thing up on like the virtual stuff. And then one day, I don't know, it just hit me and I said, I can control this so much. I've heard this from so many people so many times. Okay, block out a time for whether it's yoga, block out a time whether it's a walk, block out time whether it's meditation, block out time whether you want to call friends, block out time if you want to sit down and read a book, block out time and do anything that is actually, again, owning your time. And that's what that's when I kind of was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to work on the weekends. I don't need to work on the weekends. I can organize my schedule in a way, and that now I don't have to have those, like the Sunday blues or freak outs when I'm like back in the day, I'm like, I'm going to be at a brunch, and the whole entire time I'm not even present because I'm thinking, Monday morning's coming, Monday morning's coming, Monday morning's coming. And I'm like all stressed out. I mean, we all have had that. I know, Jen, I know you and I were talking about like Sunday nights. We're like, ah.
And then you're like hungover on Monday because you were you were at the Sunday brunch. And I mean, I'm not saying that that's not, here's my whole thing, as I think we're all going to get back there, and people could be there. It depends on everyone's comfort level. It's not about that. I think it's just about the reset of realizing, like being able to reset and like feel to that point where I frankly, Mondays are always a little sluggish, but there's, sometimes they're just fine. Like I've been actually, my anxiousness has completely gone down because I've turned completely off on weekends. I don't talk. I really don't even like to engage with a lot of people. I just turn off. Or if I do, it's, if I'm with someone, but it's still offline in some capacity. And at the end of the day, I think, I wake up Monday and you get it done. It's the mindset. And to your point, Liz, being in control of your schedule. I mean, that's the beauty of all of us being entrepreneurs. And quite frankly, I'm hoping to see that the corporate America as the future of work, and we don't have to get all, because we don't like talk about work during the show, but they'll get there too, because we are in control of our schedule. It's like, I looked at my schedule tomorrow. I was like, actually, I have only 2 calls. I nailed it today. I'm just going to wake up and drive to DC. But can you imagine like in the situation where we would have to plan that? Frankly, if I was working at a company that wasn't my own, and I think actually companies are probably more flexible to this, is that if you had to hop in the car to drive for 3 hours, like typically you would have had to plan that like weeks or a week in advance and then feel bad about it, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a big shift. I know we don't want to talk about work. One thing I do want to share though, and I think I shared it with both of you, I had an executive coach, like 2 years ago, I think. And she shared with me, that she blocks Monday mornings 9 to 12. And she uses that as her time to do whatever administrative work she needs to do, to set her intention for the week, to reach out to however many people she decides, whether it's friends or like networking, but she makes it her space. Like, this is my space during the week. And so she also was like, because we all talk about that Sunday pit in your stomach, but we don't get it anymore when you can do that sort of thing. And it really does allow you to come in focused. And I think it's an awesome thing. And focus is such a beautiful place to be.
Do you think that and I don't mean we collectively, but do you think that perhaps we, like in our little group right here, we're now more well equipped, or we've now adjusted so well that when we do go back to another type of situation, that will we fall back into those bad habits? Will we fall back into those old habits? What do you think?
Go, Jen.
I don't think so. It's kind of like I've been doing a lot of not research, because again, that's a work word. I've been doing a lot of having conversations and engaging conversations about this, and frankly, it's just the instinct feeling that I have is that, you think about how behaviors have changed from very just like I guess situations that have kind of evolved or changed the way that we live. For example, 9/11. Well, that was a one-day event, and we changed the way that we lived because of that, right? And but this is going to be going on for a while, and we're just used to now this new lifestyle. So with that, like, I don't ever believe in going backwards. You can go backwards, but you also do go backwards to forwards, right? So there's a lot of things in society that are, things repeat themselves, of course, right? History repeats themselves, but we're still moving the ball forward. So personally, for me, it's like we've been living that flexible world for, probably 2-3 years or however long we've had our businesses for. But now corporate America is going to have to catch up because they're all living this more flexible work. Like you can't then go back and say, okay, guys, now you need to butts to seats 9 to 5. So I think that it's going to be beautiful because now people can really be intentional with their time and not just filling the times to fill them because it's like, oh, well, we need to be at this meeting or we need to be at this networking event. No, thank you. I'd rather be here. I'd rather be virtual and bare naked women. The show will continue it'll continue throughout because like people, I've been seeing, by the way, not to be on the freaking soapbox here, but the content that I've seen come out because of the pandemic it's been on this whole other level of digital transformation because companies that were more stodgy have been forced to embrace digital transformation. So
I think that's true. I think for a lot of industries, and I agree. I think also what I've loved seeing, and I don't know about you guys, personal and professional have been melding. Like our dogs are in our Zooms, our kids are in our Zooms, parents are teachers, like all this, our homes are our offices and our gyms and our restaurants and our schools and our everything. So it's been really nice, I think, for people to be humanized even more. Sometimes people have like a really professional exterior, and now it's sort of like someone's kid will come jump on their head when they're making like some big point. And it's just we're all just people. It's so good. I feel like it's a really good thing.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Well, with that, before we jump into the second thing that has been, well, actually, it's been on my mind, but really it's been on Liz's mind as well. I just want to say that it's not just Valentine's Day on Sunday, it's Galentine's, and I'm wearing a sweater that has, I'm wearing a
yeah, like literally, I think Pamela is literally making this a thing because she's like, can you see it? Can you see it? I think it's like a statement like, all right, if you guys can't see it, then we're going to have to make a statement that this is what I'm wearing.
Galentine's. Anyway, I just was thinking about how last year around this time, I was at a little fun little gathering for Galentine's that our friend Mary Claire Burek, who runs the Roslyn Pit, held. And I was looking at old pictures of like, oh my God, it's so weird. We're all like hugging each other and like breathing all over each other. And yeah, that was just last year. Anyway,
mine was just Meredith, by the way. Meredith, we had like this Galentine's dinner because we were supposed to go to this like, oh, speaking of which, this terrible night. I walked in and walked out. I think Emmett was there. Like Emmett, who we all know, Emmett was there, and I see him. I was like, what is he doing? I was like, this is like this women's event thing. And I was like, all right, I see you, Emmett, networking. Let's go. But then I walked in and I was like, Meredith, do you want to go get a Galentine's Day dinner at Raku? Because I was like, I'm out. Like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, let's go.
Well, this is a better Galentine's. I like this. This is
Oh my God, this is the Galentine's special. I didn't even, was that intentional?
I snuck it in there.
That was such a surprise. That was such a surprise.
I need good gifts for my husband, but we don't have to go there now.
All right.
I'm rusty, Liz. I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm pretty rusty these days.
So, Liz, okay. I mean, obviously now we've had some time to think about things that are important to us. Maybe we have a lot of time to think about things that are important to us. And I know you had mentioned that you've really uncovered and unpacked some things that are meaningful to you. And, what, maybe tell us a little bit about what those are and what types of actions you put forth to fulfill those things that are meaningful to you.
Sure. So I'll start with, I have a couple things that surfaced for me. So one thing was that I wanted to be more mindful about where my food was coming from. So I actually have gone in on a weekly vegetable kind of crate with my friend Karen For, shout out to Karen For, and we get it from Lancaster Fresh Farm Cooperative. And so every Thursday we get fresh vegetables. And what I love is, there are theories that you should eat what's in season, like those are the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs, even though we're all probably buying berries from Costa Rica and other sorts of things. But so that's something that I think is really cool. And I'm roasting vegetables up the wazoo, and that's happening every week. And Gary's like, what am I eating right now? And I'm like, it's a watermelon turnip radish and a watermelon radish. Let me look it up. Like, I don't even know what to make with this. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, for people that know me, they know I have an incredible passion for education, and I always go back and forth on this idea of teaching. And I am an adjunct capstone advisor at Georgetown, but I love little kids and littler kids. So Jen introduced me to Emerging Scholars, the amazing woman who runs it. And so I'm now, I teach Emerging Scholars. For those of you that don't know, they provide a Scholars Academy for fifth graders to help them move into independent schools. They can be in this area, in the DC area. And so I teach a visual arts appreciation class. And it is so fun and so exciting, and I'm learning as I go, and these kids are so smart and dynamic and creative, and it's been incredible. And that was one thing that I said to myself, if I come out of this not doing something about this, like this passion of mine, it'll be one more thing on the list that we all have where it's like, I really want to, and then it's like 3 years go by, but I've been doing it. So this one I'm really, really excited about. And it's awesome. And it's an incredible organization. I hope everyone checks it out.
So do you feel so you're talking like the physical fueling of like these fresh vegetables that are in season. So you're getting vitamins and minerals and all of the nutrients that you should be getting, that we all should be getting, not through potato chips, which I might have had 7 of earlier.
Only 7?
Like, I've got there 2 bags and like big bags alone in.
It happens. It happens. So you're physically doing this, and you're also, again, physically doing something with you put into action with the volunteering and the teaching. Do you feel differently? Do you feel like your soul has been fueled? How do you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, I love like feeling connected to these, I know, but like knowing that my vegetables came from, it's really fun and cool. And I'm also supporting a small business, which I think is great. But I love that I'm also exploring new recipes. Like, it's totally forcing me out of my comfort zone. Something arrived the other day and it literally looked like a prickly baseball. And I was like, I don't know what this is, and had to look it up. And now I can't even remember what the vegetable was, but I made an amazing recipe. Oh, now I can't remember. I should have remembered, but anyway, different things. So it's just fun. It forces you to explore. I need to change it up a little bit. I've sort of been doing the same roasting of the vegetables, but that feels really different. I like it. And I like feeling like there weren't a lot of steps on the way to get to me. And then the other being with these kids, it's so cool. I can't wait. That's something where I can't wait till we can physically be together, because I think the energy of being around these scholars who are so diligent and smart and eloquent and committed to what they're doing, I think will be even more rewarding, even though I'm getting it through the screen. At the point that we can be together is going to be amazing as well.
I love that. Jen, how about you?
I mean, I love the youth too. I mean, I think that, and I think, frankly, from what Liz is saying, is that this time period in particular is like, you can talk about shit, because I can say the word shit on Bare Naked Woman, not my own podcast, but you could talk about the things you're going to do, or you can actually freaking do it. And I think it's magical that you can, rather than taking this time where we really do have a lot of time in our hands. And again, going out to the people who don't have a good to-do list right now, unfortunately, because of the freaking job market. But if you can at least say that you can come out of it and create your own to-do list every single day, which is really what entrepreneurs do every day, is create their own to-do list, and then also put something out in the world and be like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Then you do it. And I think we got so caught up in the rat race hamster wheel life before, where, we're sitting here the three night in these three different places. We would probably have been maybe at dinner, but it would have been not really the actual, like, making an impact, right? And so for me, I like to work, I got involved with the Boys and Girls Club thanks to Pamela and Ashley, because I wanted to empower youth as well. And even if it's just making one difference, I mean, I don't know, because a lot of the time it's kind of a shit show with this virtual and trying to get kids paying attention. God bless all parents and teachers right now, because I don't know how I would do it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, if I can just get like some kind of paying attention, but I think if we could be making these impacts now to also inspire the future of innovation entrepreneurship among the youth, because at 13, you could be an entrepreneur, quite frankly, or you could like fall in love with some kind of art. So that's just what I've been doing. And I think every day I just wake up with an intentional goal and feeling of what I'm going to accomplish, where I have to create my agenda every day. Pamela, how about you? I mean,
yeah.
What superpower world problems you've been solving on your everyday basis, other than, of course, like tending to the best rescue animal in the district and Virginia?
Yeah, and please excuse her barking. I will mute us next time she does do that. Obviously I talked about cooking before, and I think about like slow, not just like slow food, slow, intentional, everything. Slow, intentional is, yes, what am I putting into my body? But also, one of the things that I've actually intentionally and slowly been able to do that is not solving any world problem, but it is solving my own world, is putting my attention towards my home and putting my attention towards how do I make my home an oasis? How do I carve out little enclaves of a space for me to be doing one particular activity or another activity, and to say, this is my heaven, this is my home, this is my oasis, and being really intentional about the things that I put into the home, the things how I do my decoration, even the pillows that I've chosen, that I got new pillows for my bed, and because sleep is really important. And I just was sleeping on like the pillows that I had for the longest time, and it wasn't until I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to think how important sleep really is. So let me do some research on really good pillows for the way I happen to sleep. So this is more of let's take care of this cocoon that I live in so that I can be better for my friends, my family, and my clients.
Well, and are you a side back sleeper?
I'm a back. Well, it depends, because, baby Fraser.
You're like the vampire. Like, I'm a back sleeper. I'm like a freaking all on stomach sleeper.
Sometimes I'm like, baby Fraser, she takes one side of the bed and she puts her head on the pillow. That determines on which side of the bed that I shall be resting on. I have like two of everything, like two waters, water here, phone thing here, phone, wherever I'm allowed to sleep that night.
And what have you started? Like, what have you started that you didn't do before, Pamela?
Oh, you mean like as far as like activity? Oh, I just got back on Babbel.
Oh, that's exciting. What language?
Spanish. Yeah.
Perfect, on Espanol.
Yeah. Lo siento. I have had taken 3 semesters of Spanish in college 5 billion years ago and 5 years of French. And, I just like, it's good for my brain. It's good for me to communicate with so many people. It's the international, like, there's like widely spoken language internationally. And why not?
¿Cómo se dice?
You just sounded a little Italian. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying Italian. I'm just saying, ¿cómo se dice? I was like, I don't know. Like, frankly, I was like, but like, the ¿cómo se dice is actually pretty like a standard question or whatever. And like, Pam was like, I'm laughing. I was like, okay, maybe you should go back. Maybe you should keep.
¿Cómo se dice? What'd
you say? Isn't that what you say?
¿Cómo se dice?
Oh,
what
yeah,
is it, Jen?
I remembered that for a while.
What is it, Jen?
Yeah, what is it?
It's how do you say? ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say? That's how, like, how do you say? ¿Cómo se dice?
You say shoe, like you do whatever, right?
Yeah, ¿cómo se dice? Yeah, like ¿cómo se dice? We should just do a whole episode in Spanish. Honestly, I did very well in Spanish. I mean, my classes I did well on were very random because I have like ADHD and learning disabilities. So like I was very good in Jewish history, English, and Spanish, like, but just in college. And honestly, I mean, I don't remember half of it, but ¿cómo se dice?
Okay, Pamela. Well, you'll have to come back.
I have to relearn everything. Going back to like carving out your day, I'm going to carve out a half an hour every day where I'm sitting on that app and I'm repeating everything back and all of that. And it just, you're just going to keep you wait. Okay. Just you wait. Well,
wait. I'm like literally going to start singing. And wait, what are you doing? Is it Flourishing 5 time?
Yes, it is. 6:02.
Wait, Liz, did you bring the products to TICHQ?
Of course.
So good.
I traveled with my products.
This is exciting. Did you bring a shopping cart with you? Did you come down with a big grandma cart that I typically would be carrying around?
No, they fit in a bag.
Okay, well, you have to start OVS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, wait, before we get into that, we have to say what the Flourishing 5 is. For all of you who don't know, I just get to say this all the time. The Flourishing 5, products, services, apps, if you will, that help us flourish from our inside out, of course, whether they're fueling us from a beauty perspective, self-care, health, anything. So it could be anything from a particular type. It could be a supplement. It could be a cream. It could be anything in between. So I am so excited because I always love learning from our guests. And Liz, you could just kick us off.
Okay. What if I have 6? I need to cut one.
Well, maybe that 6th one will be Jen's because she was saying she wasn't sure if she had one.
Okay, I can share.
I'm joking. You can.
No, I have an app. No, I don't know. I'll me. I'll think of something, but let me just let's buy.
Go ahead. Let's fire.
Okay. First one. Okay. Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. Have you guys heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this has been around since 1930. It was the first product that Elizabeth Arden ever. What?
Classic,
totally. So it's this orange, kind of it feels like a petroleum, but you use it on everything. You can put it on your lips, you can put it on a burn, you can put it on a rash, you can put it on a dry patch. It is a cure-all. Do you remember in My Big Fat Greek Wedding where they sprayed Windex on everything? Okay, that's what this is, but for skin, everything. And it is a godsend. So I highly recommend you always have this in your house. And seriously, if you ever have an irritation, put it on. But it said that it could have been used for Elizabeth Arden's Horses, like, because it's gentle for the skin, and also it takes 8 hours to like go away because it's so rich and penetrating.
Oh, wow.
Recommend
Okay.
it. Okay.
That's really cool.
That was number one, a classic.
A classic, 1930s classic. It may have been used on horses. Let's go. I'm here for it.
As long as it wasn't made out of horses or anything like that.
No.
So mine's really super simple. I love reading Vanity Fair, and Norma Kamali, the designer, mentioned that she loves this particular lip stain, and this is black cherry tinted lip balm. It's.
Ooh. Are you wearing it tonight?
Can you see this?
Are you wearing it tonight?
Hurrah. A little bit, just a little bit. I have a lot of stuff on, but the reason why I like this is because, for all the Zoom calls, I don't necessarily want to put douse myself in lipstick, but I also don't want to look like I'm, my lips are totally washed out. So it's just like a little bit of a stain, and it's very nourishing.
Awesome. Jennifer.
So I'm not sure if I've spoken about this app before, but like maybe I'm recycling, but I don't think I actually have, because I know I've spoken about Insight Timer, but I'm going to say CoStar because I've been really into strong. And I think all of us sometimes like just need a little pick me up where it's like, all right, one thing you can rely on. Well, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, but one thing you can rely on is like actually the stars and the moon. And just in regards to the universe's feeling, and if you just like kind of want to get some like self-awareness insights on yourself, I would download the CoStar app. It's like very good. And it just is a nice little wake me up to like, it's a good, whether or not it's actually correct, it's a good app to self-reflect and have self-awareness. So that's more of a mental wellness app tip.
Love it.
Was that a good one? I don't think I've said it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. I'm
I'll put the
making
link in the comments.
What?
I'll put the link in the comments for people to download.
Okay, perfect. You should put all these in the comments.
Well, I'll put Pamela's like she's the she likes doing the.
Oh, she'll do mine. Okay. I'm switching it up. So I'm going to do 5. Okay. I know this is expensive, but it is the end all be all, the La Mer cream.
Oh, girl.
And this is, I like the heavy moisturizing cream. And I also love that it has a story. It was created by a scientist who was burned. And he also lived near the ocean. He saw like kelp and algae and things had all this restorative properties. So they created what they call their miracle broth. And it's like it's kelp and algae, which kelp is a form of algae, with light, and the cream is so rich, and you have to warm it up in your hands and pat it on, and nothing penetrates your skin. I have tried everything. As you guys know, I'm like obsessed with skincare products, and you only need the tiniest bit, like not even a dime, and it lasts you for a really long time, and there's nothing like it.
I have heard.
It's really, really worth it. It's really worth it. Shall I keep going?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're on now.
Okay. The next thing, and I researched everything because I like to know about my products before, and then I wrote everything up. So this is Orgain Collagen Peptides. So it was started by, there's no gluten, no dairy, no sugar, tasteless. I put it in my coffee every morning. It's for hair, nails, skin, joints. And it was started by a gentleman who was going through cancer treatments, and he wanted to bring like more natural stuff into his routine. And now he's an integrative medicine doctor, and I love it. You can get it pretty much anywhere. Just look it up. And it goes in, and it's yumbos. You don't even taste it. And I really notice a difference in the texture of my hair, especially when we're all so dry and like right now. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask if you actually see the difference.
I do see the difference. I really, really do. Okay, next up, I'm going to do 2 apps. I know we've talked a lot about one Peloton, but I'm going to do the Peloton app. It has
for it.
It has been life-changing. So when COVID started, my sister-in-law and I started doing the Peloton app, and we would have the class on our iPad, and then we'd FaceTime. So we were trying to do like a virtual class together. And then in came Jennifer Sherman, and she and I started doing dance classes with Cody, which was life-changing. And now I've explored so many different classes. And I have twice a week, I work out with a group of women who have come together. We do a virtual class. Some of us have also gotten bikes, so we're able to do the cycling. But there's so much more. Like, we've all done yoga together. The sleep meditation with Ross Rayburn, like, really helps you fall asleep and puts you in, it really ends your day in a special way. So I know we all talk about Peloton, but it really is phenomenal, and they're always trying to improve and add more classes. And they do, oh my God, Pamela, when you're ready, there's yoga to Broadway tunes. It is amazing.
Is that the one that is that the Kristen McGee one?
Yeah, I like her.
I feel like you're really into Kristen McGee. I like not there yet. We'll get there together. We will all three get there. Not tomorrow, but maybe like Friday, because I think we've made Friday our yoga right?
Yeah. I think I need to skip this week, but you guys should do it.
Oh no, you should not do this week.
I'm not doing yoga this week.
But Pamela, I got you. Accountability partner. Let's go. It's so fun. Like, it's so easy. Like, I think it worked out more in the pan than I have like pre-pan, because like what I would do. Wait, P.S. I interrupted you. You have another one. Let's do it. And then
it's okay. We can always come back.
Let's do your last one.
Okay.
No, let's do the last one.
It's called the Good Human app, and it's Good Human, one word, and they're committed to learning and living sustainably and ethically. You can go on there and find out clothing designers, like they have chat rooms, they have products, they have recommendations for fashion, skincare, all these things. I met the guy who started it, James Glasscock. He's super interesting, and they're creating this whole community. It's a phenomenal app. I go there before I look to buy something, and love it. And it's really like, I got sucked in and spent a whole bunch of time there. So check it out. Good Human.
I've never heard of this before. That's so cool. Thank you for that wonderful suggestion. Thank you for all of these. I learned, well, I mean, obviously I knew La Meh is accepted in, but no, I think your list is fabulous.
I've heard of Good Human.
I could keep going, but I won't. Well, I'm glad I stumped you both with Good Human. Check it out and sign up.
I mean, Peloton, I really don't want to keep on. I mean, I have to always like shout out to Peloton. It really did the dark days of the cloudy days of the lockdown. It was like
we really
just little Cody, just like, I mean, yeah. How many dance classes of Cody on repeat of that one did we do?
Swatting the beast.
One time, Liz and I, or probably multiple times, like, because it was like there was only 4 or 5 you could choose from, but Liz and I actually did a whole different dance class. Like,
we were on FaceTime and we were doing different classes, and I was like, "What is she doing? That's not the move I'm doing."
It was funny. So we brought in Bailey today as a little guest on our crew, and you know, we have like a rhythm, right? Like, we have this rhythm of like
four of us.
It's very like, you get on at 7:20. You know, if you show late, like whatever, and then like we like pause for a second. Maybe we'll talk about like the first workout for a second, like the stacking. We'll get there, and then we'll move on to the second workout, and then we talk about it for like, we do like a whole conclusion, like talk about it for maybe 30 seconds before we have to go to our days. Bailey comes in today, love her to death. So she comes in on time. The transition she just didn't exactly get. She started before it probably had the stacking situation. So she started saying, and good, she was on good behavior, but she didn't know. So then And she just then drops off by the end. And like, we take this very seriously. So Nancy and Amy were like, where did Bailey go? I was like, most likely her phone died. I have no idea. She probably just started it. She was ahead of us with the second workout. Let's just see. And so, of course, at least, I appreciate she texted the group and was like, sorry, phone died, typical. But I was nervous about that. Like we get very serious about the Peloton virtual workouts.
I know. I agree.
Well,
we created our own hashtag.
Hashtag 720.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you introducing me to the app, and I jumped on and got the 2 months free, which I'm like 3 weeks into the 2 months free. And because, I got totally into it and then I got sick. So it was like, yes, I'm in it 6 days in a row. And then I fell off, and then it was 7 days off, and I'm getting back. I'm getting back. So
we'll get there, Pamela. We'll get there. We have Friday.
And you know what? I love that it's taught people that we don't have to kill ourselves for an hour. Like, if you have 5 minutes, do a stretch. If you have 5 minutes, do a yoga move, whatever. And I think it's made it so much more manageable. And I think that's also part of this. You can also create 5-minute things. You can do 5-minute arms and 5-minute yoga and 5-minute stretch. And it's really fun. It's really fun.
Oh, Liz, sorry, I got so excited. I'm just I'm bike day Thursday.
What do you mean?
Because I'll be home.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yay. Okay.
These are the things you look forward to in the pan. It's I know. God, I've been jonesing to ride kind of, I don't know. We'll make sure, Liz, that can you make sure the bike turns on?
Liz, can you actually go to the bike right now?
No. Liz is at the HQ. She just has to walk outside and make sure the bike turns on because can you imagine if we have this Cody ride, it's we're all ready to go, jevs up. And I will say something coming from a soul cycler, I think that we all have, I think the one thing about the art of fitness is connecting with instructors in the brand. So I so much connected with Soul Cycle. I mean, all my clothes that I wear every day are Soul Cycle brands, which is kind of disgusting, but at the same time, amazing because I connected so much with the brand and the instructors. And what's beautiful so much about Peloton is that I think we were in this whole era of, there was the Jillian, whatever her name was, blah, 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 blah. But you maybe connected to this 305, where you connected to cross training, but they really were able to take the Soul Cycle type of boutique experience online, which is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And the community, it's the community aspect, right? You share this passion for it, and they've done an amazing job. I can't say enough wonderful things about it
too, because how many times I get more excited about, okay, I can do 20 minutes in my yoga studio right behind me that I've made my little yoga studio area versus okay, now I have to put on all this gear and go walk outside in the cold. I don't want to do that, but this is doable. This is manageable, and it's not intimidating. I don't want to be freezing cold and feel icky and gross and blah blah blah, or I don't want to go down into my gym and put on 10 masks and touch all this crazy equipment and be concerned about anything that's going on in there. It's in the privacy of your home, and I can choose so many different things that fit me, not me having to fit whatever. If I'm driving, in the old days, I would drive to a class. I'm I'm stuck here and I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to get up and leave. I can just go like this. I'm going to switch it to something else.
Right.
Also, to that point, it's let's talk about the, play around with the monetary value of that stuff. For example, you would typically go to, let's just say when I was living in Arlington a couple of years ago, all right, and I wanted to do Soul Cycle, I would have to Uber skis to Soul Cycle because it was too early, and then you have to deal with the parking and DC. No, thank you. And it was West End was my location. So it would cost me $40 to do a class. And then I have to $40, the pressure of getting there, getting the bike, having to book your bike of the bike that you wanted. Because I only wanted first row because I didn't want anyone's butts in my face. So I was first row. I mean, it was stressful to work out. And then if you didn't show up, guess what would happen? You would lose $30. I was I'm sorry, if I just want to sleep in one night, it's for us to work out now and frankly, you feel like kind of an asshole now if like you don't join the crew. That's what the whole accountability thing is. Like we all yell at each other. It's like, no, the more people in the virtual workout, the better, because you feel like an asshole. So like you don't want to have to be that guy, but like it's just accountability versus losing $30 to go into a sweaty situation where you're like, I mean, again, love you, Soul Cycle. I have all your clothes, great concept, but you know.
Well, that's another thing you were talking about, the work, what's going to happen with working out as people re-enter. I mean, I do miss group classes. Like that is something I love. And I like to be outside, even in the cold. I don't mind. Like I went walking on the canal the other day with a girlfriend of mine. Because I'm making that like a social way to visit with people too. But being outside is critical to me, but I do miss group classes. Like, how do you think people are how's that going to be for exercise studios and gyms and things as people start to re-enter?
What do you think, Pamela? Do you have any?
I know that I probably will never go back to it, but that was I loved Pure Bar, I loved Soul Cycle and Zango, and now I think back to it, I'm like, ugh, it's so germy. But that's my thing.
Well, yeah. Well, no, but yeah, I don't think it's also germy. I think there's people who like to go to the gym to like, so for example, like my very good friend Joe, he likes to go to the gym because there's like a lot of equipment there, he can lift and whatever, but it's like more of an independent, act versus like him trying to be a part of it, right? It's like he's not going to have like all of that like equipment at home, right? Like he's like, I have the Peloton. It's like, I need more. So I think it's more of it's going to be more like independent. They're going to go to gyms, but they're going to put their masks on. It's going to be a little less social, right? Because they're going to put their mask on, they're going to do their thing, and they're going to leave. But I think this whole group fitness stuff, I mean, it could. But my aspect of like going into a little small studio like that and having to sweat, putting aside the germs, I don't want to do it. So I rather do the Peloton aspect where it's like you pay. The model is phenomenal because of how we've been able to create that same community, in my opinion, virtually.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking like I'll see when Orange Theory goes back to outdoor boot camps, what that looks like. Cause I loved Orange Theory. Oh my God. It was all about getting in that zone. But you couldn't pay me to go inside. There's no way. So as soon as they're when they start going back to outdoor, I'll see what that looks like. But I will never leave my Peloton crew.
I love it. Well, we just have a few more moments left, and I think that this is a good time as we start to wrap up the evening, which has been so fun, Liz. So fun. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us from the Influencer Collective worldwide headquarters. Is there anything that you want to leave us with, or any thoughts, advice, or even just open-ended questions to throw out into the universe that has to do with how to flourish and thrive and feel beautiful from the inside out during this time?
Goodness, I would say if there's someone that you've been thinking about reaching out to, do it. And make the time to just call them with no agenda, just to say hi. And the amount of warmth you'll feel just reconnecting with an old friend will be huge.
It's beautiful. And yep, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. It takes no effort. It's not like, okay, now we have to plan a time where we have to meet and go and have a drink, and that becomes like a big pain. It's just reaching out and having a moment just on the phone or whatever it is. And that's very meaningful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. What about you, Pamela and Jen? Yeah.
I'll echo and say that I think that's really important, that doing something like that has been on my mind. I'll be going through like Facebook or LinkedIn, and I'll have all this, and I'm like, okay, yes, of course, saying like happy birthday, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to I need to actually text that person and set up a time to have a phone call, or I just need to call that person. I need to do just doing some outreach and just letting you know I'm thinking about you. It's been a year since we've spoken, and how are you? But I'm not trying to steal that from you.
No.
I would say that
we're friends, honestly.
I would say that one of the biggest things that I have realized over the past many months that I have ignored and just pretended I didn't really need, because, well, you can sleep when you die, and you got to fill every hour and every minute of your life with action and moments and things, or else you get FOMO, is sleep. It is, I have realized finally at my young 48 years old that the best way to recover, the best way to feel great, the best way that our bodies can take care of us is to really respect sleeping. And I'm trying to take naps more, whether it's like a 15 or 20-minute nap. I really haven't done it for a while, but and just really respecting my body to say, I need to rest and I need to get a deep sleep, or I need to take some time to rest my eyes and shut my eyes for 20 minutes. So yeah, sleep is key.
That's a really good one. A really good one.
How about you, Jen?
I mean, I wouldn't say, I would say who you might have not thought about, just like check in. But I'm going to kind of counteract that. I think for me, it's more so appreciating the relationships that you have right now, and to lean into, your really loyal and strong friendships, and kind of just appreciating the people who come to you and hold space for you. I really think that's something that you can recognize, as I will say, going back to the whole hamster wheel aspect of running on this and trying to just like hang out. Like for me, the opposite is the people you might see second degree, third degree connections, where you're out and about and you're like then gonna hold space for them or make space for them or just hang out with them from a networking aspect, where it's like, what is that leading to, right? So really just honing in on your core loyal professional and personal relationships as to where they're going, like helping you go and you grow and you help them. And so for me, it's a little bit the opposite. But that's where I've really seen my growth in the pan, as we like to say it.
No, I love that. And I love that you took a counterpoint. That's what I think of when I think of Jen Sherman. No, but I think it's true. I think it's also realizing like you can only, especially with this is also shown, like you can only be with a certain number of people, right? Like even if you are finding your way to be outside, or I think we're all zoomed out, so you don't necessarily want to get on the phone or you don't want to get on Zoom. But I know that for me, it's just like I've reconnected with not reconnected, but we've done my college roommates and I have been doing regular check-ins, and like it's so fun. And your high school friends, the ones who know you through like the braces and the headgear and the whatever, and just all the good times and the bad times. It's just so nice to reconnect with those people. But Jen, I hear you. There was definitely like in that, when you're doing the happy hours and you're like, oh, let's get together. And then you're like spending time with people that you never see again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look at the three of us, FYI. Just I'm saying, like, been through some shit. So that's
It's cool. It's cool. All right. Well, I would just like to thank Liz Stein who's not only one of our not ambassadors. What do we call her?
Previously, like she'd be she's not like a
correspondent.
She's a correspondent. She's like a revolving host. Like if like one of us have to, do something in a pandemic that would make us not, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you, Liz Stein, for being our special guest tonight. We love you so much. And thank you for enlightening us with your Flourishing 5 and your great tips and advice and thoughts. And it's just been another moment that we get to cherish by spending with you, albeit virtually. And with that, I'll throw it to my co-host to close it up, wrap it up.
Well, I was just gonna say again, thanks. But like, here's the thing. I think this is a very this is probably the most authentic conversation that we've had, just because of how natural the three of us are together. And it's been very fun because while we did get into a little work life, that is us, right? That is who we are sometimes. But at the same time, we can throw our hair back, get off the hamster wheel, do some Peloton, drink some wine and whiskey, and just have a good time. And I just would like to say I really appreciate both of your friendships.
Same.
Yes. All right. So we are signing off until next time. Thanks for watching the Bare Naked Women Show.
Bye.
I won't sing because, no way now.
No way, no.
Bye, guys. Bye, ladies. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Buenas noches.
¿Cómo se dice?